Hey everybody, it's GombletX and welcome to day 2 of the Baldur's Gate Limited Arena Open. This is the highest stakes entry level event on Arena. It was 5,000 gems to get into day 1 and you had to get a 7-win run in best of 1 sealed to make it to this day 2 event. The way day 2 works is it's going to be a traditional draft of Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate, so we'll be drafting against other players in a timed draft. Then we will be playing against other players in best of 3 rounds. If we get a single round loss, we are out of the event, which is absolutely brutal. That is something that they added this time around. Previously, you could get 2 losses in day 2, but it was all one just massively long draft. It was one draft you played until like 8 wins or 2 losses. Now it's 2 single elimination drafts that you play until 1 loss. However, in order to make it to the second draft, you have to get a 3-win run in the first draft without getting a single loss. So it is definitely even harder than it was before to get cash prizes out of the Arena Open event. Just a pretty brutal, very, very difficult structure for it being out after a single loss. So yeah, that's everything you need to know pretty much. Just a little bit of prizes on the line in the first draft. If we manage to 3-0 this draft and get into draft 2, that's where the real money's at. You get 20,000 gems just for making it to the second draft. And then if you get at least 1 win, you're getting $1,000. At 2 wins, I believe you're getting 2,000, and then 3 wins, it's 2,500. Something like that. And that is, of course, USD. So we're going to be trying our very best out of this event, but worst case scenario, I'm happy to have just made day 2 in every Arena Open this year. Every limited Arena Open, I should say. I'm not really a constructed player, so whatever happens, cool to make it to day 2, but I am going to be playing as competitively as possible, doing my absolute best here to try to play as many rounds in this event as I can. One last thing to say before I get into the draft, because this is a highly competitive event, I am going to assume you already know the vast majority of the good commons and uncommons in the format, at least during the drafting process. I'm definitely not going to be reading out all of the cards to you all, because I'm going to be trying to use all of my brain energy in that limited time that I have to make those picks on deciding between the cards that I think are good or would work in the deck, rather than spending time and brain energy just reading off the cards to you all. So if you're looking for a very entry-level draft for this format, you can look up any of my premier drafts or traditional drafts, anything that is not this video, because I'm not going to spend too much time trying to get you accustomed to the format. This is going to be all about playing at a very high, very competitive level. So without further ado, let's hop into our draft pod and see what we get to end up going. Alright, here we are, pack 1, pick 1. This rare is really bad and super slow. I do not like that card at all. In commons, we've got some really good stuff. We have Priest of Ancient Lore, Dragon's Fire, Giant Fire Beetles. Uncommons, we have Draconic Muralists, which is quite nice. Some of the best cards in the format are dragons. In green, specifically Dreadlin Orm. I think it's Muralists, Priest of Ancient Lore, or one of these red cards most likely. Blue has Artificer, but I really don't want to get tied into blue. It's the worst color in the formats. Priest and Muralists are probably the number ones here. They're both solid 2-for-1s right off the gate. Fire Beetles is a 2-for-1 as well. It's just second card you get a 3-mana 2/2 menace. Kind of cut green out of here pretty well taking Muralists. We also cut white well by just taking Priest. Definitely one of these two. I'm gonna go for the Priest. That completely cuts white out of the pack. It's the only white card in the pack. And I think it's pretty close to on par with the Muralists. Now we have Owlbear Shepherd, which is a really sweet green card. Draw extra cards each turn. Commons in here are just okay, like Icewind Stalwart obviously works with Priest of Ancient Lore, but it's not a huge great card. Shamblingast is probably the best common. Just a really nice defensive play, really great to be able to get that out on turn 1. I feel like Owlbear Shepherd is probably better than Monster Manual. This card's just really slow. 3 mana to maybe draw a card, and then 4 mana to put it out and 2 mana to start playing creatures. I think I take Owl Bear Shepherd here. Just a powerful card draw engine. Little sad about that though, because obviously Draconic Muralist's Owlbear Shepherd would be a better start to a draft than Priest of Ancient Lore Owlbear Shepherd. Now, only the rare is gone. Somebody took a common. These are pretty bad uncommons though. Voted Paladin for the top end in a white deck, or we just take the best common, which is Guildsworn Prowler. It's early enough in the draft to not get tied into anything. I'll take a Guildsworn Prowler, I suppose. This card is just obnoxiously good. If it dies any time other than when it's blocking, and even if it dies when blocking, you trade up into something massive. We're seeing every color represented in each pack still. Not to the point where we can make a definitive decision on any color that's getting hard cut from our right. Because every pack we've seen has at least one card in each color, which is the only guarantee in the common section. In the common slot, I should say. Gates of Matterborn is definitely nice if we end up green, but we could also just take Rabble-Rouser and keep taking the best card in each pack. Steadfast Paladin is not far behind Rabble-Rouser though. And then we could have Paladin and Priest of Ancient Lore in the deck. Passed a lot of red signals, Dragon's Fire, a bunch of other red stuff. Don't have to worry too much about that though. We need to be much more worried about those signals we're receiving than the signals we're sending. I think I take Paladin. There's an argument for Pilgrim's Eye though, since we don't really know what we are yet, and that can fit into anything. That would be pretty fine. Alright, well now we know black cards are getting taken. Because there are no black cards in this pack, there's always at least one black common. Morden's Disciples, I guess, is fine. It's one of my least favorite double team cards because it's just awkward, 4 mana 2/3, but it is good on the aggressive. Minimus Containment's not great in this format with the flickering and the main deckable enchantment removal, but these are the best cards in the pack, are the white cards, so I'm kind of happy to be sorted towards white. Take a Disciples. Can take a Devoted Paladin now, or an Arcane Archery. Big combat trick, or a big top end of the curve. Gives the board +1/+1. That's really good with double team if we can get it. It's good with the high creature count that goes on in this format. These red cards are very filler. Artifacts very filler, and the blue cards aren't great, but they usually never are. Seek New Knowledge is actually kind of solid, but Librarians is okay. But yeah, I'm not jumping into blue for those. Take Devoted Paladin. No red commons in here. There are some black cards this time, but they're not great. Armor of Shadows is my favorite of these black cards. Try to solo toughness for that cost. Probably just take one of these tricks, Ambushed on the Road or Valiant Farewell. I think I prefer Ambushed on the Road, it's just more flexible. Valiant Farewell does always draw you a card, but this can do a lot of things. You can pick up a priest to recast it and draw another card. Pick up a card to save it from removal. You can win a fight with +1/+3. It's not incredible, but I think I just want to keep cutting some white cards out of the packs. No white or green in this pack. But everything left in the pack is pretty bad, pretty slow, pretty weak. So that's just kind of how the cards are naturally going to fall here. Yeah, nothing in here is very good. We saw black get cut earlier than red got cut from this direction, so I think I maybe take Fireball. I mean, pack 2 I might be able to get a lot of black. I'll take Eyes of the Beholder. Alright, well I should have taken Fireball, because oh my god, Giant Fire Beetles pick 9. I should have went with my gut there instead of flop-flopping around. Alright, take some on-color stuff here. Absolutely should have taken Fireball. In the ideal deck, we get to cut that card though, because it's not premium removal. It's one of the cards you really hope to get better cards and get to cut out of your deck, but it definitely seems like it's going to be more likely we play it than Eyes of the Beholder. because we picked up such a late giant fire beetles. Spiked pit trap helps us with removal. If we get, like, no matter what color we end up in, if we end up in black or red, if we just don't get good removal. Scouting Hawk might not be the worst card ever to sideboard in when we know that we're on the draw. Okay. We've got a Dragon's Fire, we've got a Rabble Rouser, we've got a Pegasus Guardian, which is fine. Feel like Dragon's Fire and Rabble Rouser are probably better. It's definitely not Unicorn. Don't have enough life gain to pop off with that card. Trelasara. Displacer Kitten's not very good. The Old Sworn Prowler is pretty good. Red seemed more open than black though, because we got like giant fire beetles late, and the black cards we got late were like Eyes of the Beholder, which is whatever. So I kind of want to take Rabble Rouser here, or Dragon's Fire. Move our non-creature cards over, and then our black cards into a pile as well. Don't really have a curve of creatures yet. I should probably take Dragon's Fire over Rabble Rouser though. That card is just really, really, really good. Got a Minimus Containment, we've got Altar of Ball. So 3 mana 4/1 Menace that turns into a reanimation outlet later in the game. There's also Grim Bounty in black. Getting fed black from this direction. This is the problem where we're going to have this one pack to get great black stuff, or we're going to have next pack to get great red stuff, and we've got to choose between those. And it's like Altar of Ball or Hobgoblin Captain here. Just commit to red. Take all of the red that we can in this pack, because we know pack 3 we're going to get it. And I know if I take a bunch of black cards here, I'm not getting them in pack 3. I think I'm going to commit to red here, weirdly enough. I love having arena visual bugs in a high stakes draft like this. I love having to spend extra brain energy to remember that this is a Hobgoblin Captain. Now we take a Portable Hole. There's nothing in red or black here. Yep. Portable Hole it is. Oh my god, we got a Wand of Orcus over there? Good lord. There's also Kobold Warcaller in red. We have no treasure production right now, but this is still like probably worth a splash. We need a single black mana to do it. This card just wins the game if you ever hit your opponent with it. That's so awkward. Improvised Weaponry actually looks probably fine in this deck now that we want to splash in a black card, but I think I take Kobold Warcaller first, make sure I get one of those to go with the whole red-white double team theme. You might have to take some Minimus Containments as our removal spells. I think I'm splashing Wand of Orcus, but we're red-white here. I don't think I'm using Prophetic Prism in such an aggressive color pair. I think I take a Weaponry here. Decent removal that helps us splash in that wand more easily. Young Red Dragon, I generally am not a huge fan, but it gives us that treasure token for Wand of Orcus. So I think in this particular scenario I like it better than Earth Cult Elemental, but I generally don't. But I'm trying to splash a Wand of Orcus, and if we can splash it without having to play a swamp, that's going to be absolutely beautiful. If we can splash it off of just exclusively treasure tokens, that'll be awesome. Icewind Stalwart pretty easily here. Works well with Priest of Ancient Lore or Dawnbringer Cleric. Not that I really want to main deck a Dawnbringer Cleric, but kind of where we've ended up here. Dueling Rapier is an okay trick, but we've got a lot of non-creature stuff going on. I think I just need to fill out some more creatures, so I'll take a Celestial Unicorn. actually doesn't look completely terrible in here. We have 3 life gain cards, Dawnbringer, Cleric, Steadfast, Paladin, Priest of Ancient Lore, plus an Icewind Stalwart to redo a life gain trigger off of one of those. Okay, bunch of poop. Decent blue stuff, but blue's pretty much always going to be open, because most of the packs will not have good blue stuff. Oh. Take a Thieves' Tools, I guess. It's not going to get played, but the double black card is definitely not going to get played. Unless I guess I open up a really good black rare. $18 cards right now. This is a high stakes enough event, I'm not going to rare draft. I'll take something that has like a 0.1% chance of getting played over a 0% chance. Really don't love how this turned out. I'm all in my head about how magical Christmas Land it would have been if I got the hard read on black here. In the first pack. Oh my god, we open up a black rare too. Obviously we can't know what color rares we're gonna open. I splash an Intellect Devourer in here as well. Ooh, I wish I was black-white. Guess we do. Taking that over Hobgoblin Captain. Judging by the first pack, I should not be getting past black cards this pack. Theoretically here. Might have to play Thieves' Tools just for treasures. Yep, pretty much poop out of black. We do get past good red stuff, Ambergris and Null Hunting Party. Ambergris is better, it's just cheaper, and it's pretty balmy with the specialized flip. Yeah. I mean, this is what I was thinking when I decided to commit to red in the last pack. Was pack 2 I was going to see some black, but then ideally, judging by the first pack, pack 3 I should start getting the hookup in red again. And I am getting the hookup in red. Right. I did kind of have the blinders on pack 2, got a little lost in the sauce seeing the black cards, getting sad about my choice to go red, but you need to just keep in mind the whole idea was that I get paid off in the third pack, and we're doing it. Double Ambergris gets passed to us. That's a pretty high payoff. Into Older Ravenguard. Oh my god. Maybe I am omnipotent. I should have taken just red cards over all this black stuff, though. I should have committed to my choice completely and taken Hobgoblin Captain over Intellect Devourer. But now I'm happy. Now I am happy to be in red-white. Ooh, Soldiers or Unicorn's such a hard choice. I feel like we go Unicorn. This card's just so nuts. Great on 1 or on 8 or 9. Any point in the game. Go Unicorn. Gale's probably splashable off of treasure tokens for like the red-black deck. We don't have enough treasure tokens to want to try to splash this, but this is probably a splashable specialized card. I think I'm gonna go Unicorn. Soldiers is so tempting though. Ah, we get another Unicorn. Would rather have 1 Soldiers and 1 Unicorn, but 2 Unicorn it is. Alright, I definitely made some mistakes in this draft. I'll get a first Borskeer Tollkeeper over a third Unicorn or second Paladin here. Want to fill out the 2 mana creatures. I think in all honesty, it was solid, and it definitely worked out to just decide to commit to red pack 2. We just had to wait till pack 3 to get the fruits of our labor there. But boy, did it pay off with Older Raven Guard. Problem that I had, though, is that I did not commit to that plan as hard as I should have. I got extra tempted, mainly with what I opened in this pack. I should have just taken Hobgoblin Captain over Intellect Devourer. I don't think I'm trying to splash this off a treasure. I might still splash Wand of Orcus. That might not have been wrong to take that. But I'm definitely not like putting mana rocks in this deck to try to splash things. Alright, we could put one Unexpected Windfall in the deck, and then we can definitely splash our Wand of Orcus with no swamps. Okay. Alright, take out the non-existent Underdark Basilisk to put in the Hobgoblin Captain that it actually was. I'm not going to start with the main deck Scouting Hawk, because it is very bad on the play. Or accounts like 20 creatures, 11 non-creatures. Cut a couple creatures at least, but we can cut a lot of non-creatures here. How many treasure tokens did we end up getting? We have Unexpected Windfall, Improvised Weaponry, 2, and Young Red Dragons, it's 3. The Pit Traps could get us treasures if we roll high on them, but I don't think I'm going to play them just on the off chance we roll high and get treasures. May have to cut the wand here, and then if I cut the wand I get to cut our weaker treasure producing cards like these. I'd rather have the cheaper tricks than the bigger one if you come to the Knoll Camp. Just keep like this as the non-creature curve. 20 creatures, 11 non-creatures. We have 7 cuts. 2 creatures, 5 non-creatures. Makes an 18 creature pretty aggressive deck. Sorted out all of our very filler stuff. I guess Ambushed on the Road fits in that slot as well, as does Dueling Rapier, but I want 6 non-creatures. I think they're probably our best non-creatures. I don't think I'm going for the Wand of Orcus splash here. We don't really have any flyers or evasive creatures to guarantee us that value off of this card, so there's even times that we might hit the treasure tokens to play it and it doesn't just like straight win us the game. There's some menace cards though that would be good with it, but yeah, so 3 more non-creatures into this deck. So I could go one of that, and one of that to kind of add a variety to our tricks. Make it harder to play around them. Seems fine. How is the creatures looking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 4 of these creatures make it in, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 of them don't make it in. Really wish I took another Hobgoblin Captain over that black rare we opened up in pack 3. That was a really bad decision from me, because we could really use another good aggressive 2-drop. As you can see, Dawnbringer Cleric I've moved over to the stuff we're probably going to cut just because it's not aggressive on turn 2. It's just a 1/3 body, which is not what we're looking for. I think I'm going to side that. And then for Unicorn we've got a Lifelinker and a Priest of Ancient Lore. That's it. Probably cutting that. Which means that we keep the rest. little bit of a high curve for a red-white deck, especially for 16 lands instead of 17. Plus we have double really good mana sinks on Steadfast Unicorn. We might actually want to play another land over one of these 4-drops so we can make it to our squadrons more often. Average 2.8. Got double ambergris. If we get flooded out, hopefully we draw into those, discard our hand, draw a new one. I am pretty tempted to add a land here. Play a 41 card special or cut one of the weaker 4-drops like Young Red Dragon. Or Jaded Sellsword. Or one of the 6-drops. One of the squadrons just have one at the top end. Seems fine too. Yeah, we've ended up with a pretty average red-white deck here. I think if I was a lot more diligent and committed, we could have ended up with a pretty great red-white deck here if I didn't. I think I took Wand of Orcus over like Genasi Rabble Rousers or something too. That would have been great in this deck. Yep. Definitely some hindsight mistakes in the drafting process. The thought process was good of checking what we were getting past pack 1, noticing getting like pick 9 fire beetles and stuff like that, knowing that from the right we're going to get a lot of red cards. Even though I passed a lot of red signals early, so we're not going to get red cards from the left, just knowing pack 3 we're going to get the hookup on red. Should have stuck with it, I think, from the get-go of pack 2. Alright, I think I'm just going to cut one squadron here. That's just a lot of mana. And then add a land. We have more, we have an exactly even split. Wow, then color is the final land gonna be? I guess our red cards could give us treasure tokens, but we have more cheap white cards than red cards. We have 2 white 1-drops, 2 white 2-drops. Probably need white turn 1 more often than we need red turn 1. Although Cobalt Warcaller is very important to play turn 1. And red does give us improvised weaponry, bathe in gold. Yeah, red could give us a treasure for the white if we're lucky. I'll go one more red than white. The only other thing to really consider in terms of which color we need more often is like when are we going to need double white or double red, and we're just going to need double white on turn 8 with Steadfast Unicorn, or we'll need double white on turn 6 with Ranger Squadron. That is so late in the game that 8 white sources is more than enough to hit that. Looks like we don't really ever need double red. Alright, here is a look at the final deck we will be playing for the Arena Open Day 2. This is a Boros aggro deck. I made the decision during Pack 2 based on the signals I was seeing in Pack 1 to try to push into red, even though we were seeing some black cards pass to us in Pack 2. I didn't stick to that decision as hard as I could have and should have. We could have had another Hobgoblin Captain and maybe a Genasi Rabble Rousers in here had I taken those over Intellect Devourer and what is it called? The big equipment in black, the Wand of Orcus, and that would have made this deck significantly better, so I'm kind of bummed out about that. Definitely made some mistakes in the drafting process there, but I'm very happy with how I read those signals, because this deck really came together. Pack 3, we got past Ambergris, then it passed an Ambergris, and then passed an older Raven Guard, which was absolutely perfect. That was exactly what I was hoping to see after those Pack 1 signals. So ended up with a pretty solid red-white aggro deck. Very, very average kind of solid deck here. Nothing absolutely incredible, nothing absolutely terrible, just very middle of the road here. I think we could have had a really, really good deck here. So again, still disappointed with how I drafted today, but should still be a pretty solid stuff. And overall, I think I had a decent idea with the colors I wanted to be in, and that panned out well. So without further ado, let us head into the gameplay. Game 1 on the play, turn 1 Steadfast Unicorn, a potential turn 3 Older Raven Guard. We are playing a full 17 lands here with mana sinks like Steadfast Unicorn. So hopefully that means we do get to draw land in the first couple turns here. Alright, we do draw a land. Get in for 1, pass the turn. Opponent is on blue here. Blue-green it is. They're going to Ray of Frost our Unicorn. Be pretty happy with that, because there'd be 1 Ray of Frost they can't use on Older Raven Guard. How does this card work? Again, when it enters the battlefield, a non-token creature gains double team till end of turn, and when it attacks, I conjure a duplicate of another attacking creature to my hand. Okay, that is incredible, and we're definitely casting it, although they could have Undersimplify. Do we play around Undersimplify? Don't think I'm supposed to, because I don't really have any play at all if they do have Undersimplify. And it is not really run that often. You definitely don't see it in every single blue deck, just in some of them. So Older Raven Guard does resolve, so we're going to get another Unicorn to our hand. They do have the Ray of Frost. We've got a portable hole to deal with that, and we've got Dawnbringer Cleric we can sideboard in since we are against blue. That can shut off their Ray of Frost. That can shut off their Dawnbringer Cleric. Or their Charm Sleep. Oh, my brain. Such a powerful tool. Definitely want Raven Guard to untap next turn, so I think I go Hobgoblin and Portable Hole here. Now they have to spend another removal spell on Older Raven Guard. Juvenile Mist Dragon? I mean, that works. Pretty irritating. Ambushed on the Road here. It's pretty nice. Attack both here, and I have a Rapier to have Unicorn trade up into Dragon. Anyway, I just beat the Mist Dragon in combat. +3/+1, not really, unless I just dueling Rapier onto Unicorn pre-combat and attack both. Then it's like they trade Unicorn in, or this just first strikes and just beats it. I guess Ambushed on the Road if I use 2 tricks here, but I think I'd rather just hold on to Ambushed on the Road. I'm gonna assume no blocks here, because this is a very suspicious attack. But maybe they will. Alright, no blocks it is. Guess I'm holding up You Come to the Knoll Camp because I do want to keep playing creatures. They're down to 13 now. We've got their 6th mana. They can play Hill Giant Herdgorger. This is where these green decks can really stabilize against your aggro, so unfortunately they have just had enough to slow us down to stabilize if they have the cards to do so. With Ray of Frost, Mist Dragon locking down Raven Guard, Air Cult Elemental coming in here, bouncing Raven Guard, or bouncing Captain, because Raven Guard gets to trigger even when it's attacking. Okay, we're gonna hold up triple tricks here, right? You come to the Knoll Camp, dueling Rapier, and Ambush on the Road by playing Mountain first. Could also give my board +1/+1 Vigilance. I think I'd rather be able to do +1/+1 at instant speed. Keep getting our duplicate value. Block Older Raven Guard there. And Air Cult Elemental on Unicorn. Is there any way to kill Air Cult Elemental? No, but we could save Older with Ambushed on the Road. I could spend 2 combat tricks to have my Unicorn kill this Air Cult Elemental, but I think I'd rather keep You Come to the Knoll Camp here. so that I can shut off their blockers next turn to try to find lethal. And then this turn I can just replay that Hobgoblin Captain. So just let that Air Cult Elemental combat happen here. Could play Dueling Rapier as well to hit for 3 instead of just 1. Hit a land, I'm going to want to play Paladin. I guess if we hit a land next turn, yeah, let's just kill these creatures. Because if I hit a land next turn, I'm going to want to just play a Devoted Paladin. I'm not going to sit here playing more combat tricks. And if I don't hit a land, now I've got a really big board state. I can just buff the unicorns. I can just do the 4-mana ability here. And go for an attack. Basically the same thing as playing Paladin, but without putting more cards on the board. Dreadlin Arm, a single 7/6. We draw into Ambergris. Got the mana to play that and a unicorn. Attack all, they kill Older and take 3 for 5, 6, 7, and we'd probably kill them next turn. Honestly, kinda seems worth it to me. Let Older die here just to go super ham. If I specialize Ambergris, I can play another one. So I guess I'll get another. I'm going to take this action so I can hit some lands here. Get closer to specializing Ambergris and playing a second. That'll cost 6 mana to do. And now we've got the 6 mana to do it. Next turn, that's going to be the line. We go land, flip this Ambergris, play a second Ambergris because this will have a different name. It'll be Agent of Destruction or Agent of Law instead of Citadel Agent. Allura, Rogue Companion, that's fine. Little 3/2 blocker. Definitely get lethal if we flip red, so I play the plains, not the mountain. I discard the mountain to flip red. Actually, flipping white would have been better. That was a misplay. I was so excited about the 2 damage, I forgot what white does. It's +X/+X to all your other creatures. They're going to band together in response. Okay, so they band together, they go block, block, take 4. Do 4 damage to them attacking here with everybody. No, they go block there, block here. Take 2, not 4. They take 2, but then they only have a Dreadlin Arm on board. Guess I play Ambergris and pass now. Well, I'm lucky they had band together because then it didn't really matter that I misplayed my specialize. So that's not as embarrassing as it would have been. But it actually would have been a lot more damage to flip white there. That would have been the smarter play. Draw another Steadfast. This is really the Steadfast Unicorn deck. So I can flip white on Ambergris, and then I give my whole board +1/+1, but I don't give Vigilance, because I've discarded 1 card this turn. Also, Ambergris will be +1/+1. So it's the same thing as using a Unicorn, except I don't get Vigilance. 2 of these are going to trade off, right? No, I guess a Unicorn gets blocked there. I only kill 1 of their creatures, but I draw 2 by doing this. I'm going to draw 2 by doing this and hit them for 2. I feel like I have to just do that. I don't feel like I can just not attack here. Young Red Dragon and Steadfast Paladin. So we're going to hit for 2, take out 1 of their creatures. We're still going to have unicorns to buff the field next turn. We're taking out 2 of their creatures. That's so nice. This would have been better for them the other way around, because then they can kill a unicorn without losing the young blue dragon. I am very, very happy with these blocks. Incredibly, incredibly happy with that. Now I drop Paladin, so I have 2 creatures, both threatening lethal. If I equip Unicorn with Rapier, I guess I don't have the mana to equip Unicorn and give the board +1/+1, unfortunately. Okay, Dragon's threatening lethal in the sky next turn. Never mind, that's a young blue dragon. 7 mana here. Not quite enough to do both things. Could just cast this and pass here. I'm not going to have the mana to equip or use Unicorn anyway, so I make the treasure token so that next turn I have the mana to equip and use Unicorn's effect, even if I don't hit a land. More importantly, I can use Unicorn's effect twice next turn, so I can attack with a 4 toughness flyer. Seek off of the green gates. You get a monster manual, that's a pretty good one. Yep, and it milled a big rare flyer. That's not good. All I need is to have one more creature on board than they do, though, and I can accomplish that here because I can kill their young blue dragon this turn. If they tap Walrus for something weird, then I guess I'll just lethal them. Land. They're not going to cycle that thing, are they? Okay, I was going to say, that would be really weird. Yeah, so we know what's in their hand. We know that we can just go double pump. Send in this young dragon and force them to block with their young blue dragon. Oh wait, no, that thing taps when it cycles? That's sick. Okay. If I attack both here, both players lose a creature. They lose their flyer. We have lethal on board with Young Red Dragon. They have to draw another flyer or a removal spell. Yeah, force them to draw into an out here. They need a flyer or a removal spell. Or we just kill them in the sky. Alright, no flyer or removable spell. Wow, that was a sweaty game. That was a stressful one. We're definitely putting in Dawnbringer Cleric. We're against a blue deck, and we've seen a blue enchantment removal already, and they probably have Charmed Sleep or something as well. We saw Ray of Frost is what we saw. Not too much else I'm massively worried about here. Hammer's on the Road is actually really good against them, because we can also just bounce our cards that have been locked down by a Charmed Sleep. So maybe we play double Charmed Sleep or double Amish on the Road over like Dueling Rapier or something here. Maybe come to the Knoll Camp. I do like the ability to shut off things, though. I think I'll play a second Amish on the Road over a Rapier. What creature would I want to cut for this Dawnbringer Cleric? Just like a random 4/3 on the ground? Something like that? Sure. That'll be the deck. I think that'll be the deck. Opponent's going to be on the play here, so I could, if I really wanted to, put in a Scouting Hawk. But this isn't even a Scouting Hawk deck, even if we know our opponent's going to have more lands than us. Basically just Pilgrim's Eye. Game 2, here we go. Wow, this is a hand. Opponent is on the play, but we'll be on the aggro. That is for sure. We have 2 copies of your Ambushed on the Road and 1 copy of the 4-mana 3/3 that flickers a card. So I think I am just going to curve out and play Dawnbringer Cleric turn 2, even though I could play it later to get rid of Array of Frost. I think I would rather just curve out as aggressively as I can, even if it is just a 1-power creature. Plus that I'm dumping my hand more quickly to where we could actually get some Ambergris value. Alright, opponent kept a 6-card hand here. So they are down a card on the play. Young Blue Dragon's Sand Augury is going to scry 1 and draw a card. Again, I'm just going to dump my hand out here for Ambergris. Owlbear Shepherd is the play. Got a Tollkeeper here. Definitely want to get something on the board that's going to be big enough to use weaponry on Shepherd next turn. So I think I just play Ambergris so the next turn I can attack into the Shepherd and they'll block Ambergris obviously, but then I can just weaponry to kill it. I guess I'd be threatening to Unicorn to kill it is the problem. So they just wouldn't block in the first place. Yeah, it's awkward. Owlbear Shepherd is probably just going to stick around. But that means Ambergris guaranteed gets 3 damage in next turn. So they're just not going to block her next turn. Oh, Underseller Mike and it changes that. Tempted to blow that up with my weaponry and then play a Tollkeeper. See what's in their hand with this treasure token. Think I'm gonna do that. Get our board really wide for a white flip off of Ambergris. Pseudo Dragon Familiar, Young Blue Dragon, and removal spell probably. Wow, they're stuck on 4 mana here, potentially where they can't play these Young Blue Dragons, so just make their Familiar come into play tapped. So if they don't hit a land, they're like really out of it. Could triple block Dawnbringer Cleric to kill it. Yeah, I don't really want to trade my 1/3 into a 1/1. And if they don't want to do that, they just block with a 1/4 anyway. There's no way I get damage off making that attack. Just offering my 1/3 for a 1/1. Top deck to the land. That'll do it. That is the correct draw. Flip Ambergris here, and our board's gonna get +3/+3. Ambergris is gonna die because she'll just be a 4/3. Pretty much nobody else should. The only way they kill Ambergris is if they lose either their Young Blue Dragon or their Owlbear Shepherd. Could get greedy and just keep putting more things on board right now, but I think I want to flip Ambergris, Start whittling away their board. Fire Beetles is really good on a new board, though. The longer I wait, the more they're going to drop out. They're just going to have another blue dragon and stuff like that. I'm just going to flip Ambergris. +3/+3 the squad. Oh my god, that's such a good draw. We drew the mana, the combat trick here. But yeah, no, we're threatening like 14 damage by doing this, so we're like really shredding the board state. That's actually insane how good that draw is. We did have 2 ambushed on the roads in the deck, so I should have factored that into my decision there. I'm glad the auto tapper held the white up, because we only have white 1-mana cards in the deck. If I'd thought about that, I definitely would have manually tapped, but I didn't think about that, so Arena really held my hand there. That was incredible. And we've drawn into the You Come to the Null camp to turn off 2 of their blockers this turn. Probably just find lethal. If they can't get rid of Ambergris, then definitely. I guess if they can get rid of Ambergris, then it's not lethal, but if they can't, it's almost 100% going to be lethal. So they're going to Sand Augury here, dig for an out, immediately put that on top, draw it. It's something they wanted. Maybe it was just a land for getting to their 6-mana cards. Alright, they're super dead on board here. Honestly, I don't even know if I need to use You Come to the Null camp here. But they're mega dead if I do, so I just will. Say my whole board gets +2/+2 if I didn't use that. It only gets +1/+1 now. They have a 1-mana bounce spell? Is there a 1-mana bounce spell in this format? Two songs are playing at once again. I love Arena's audio. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're alive if there is a 1-mana bounce spell. Hypnotic Pattern. That is -4/-4. I guess they're alive. 1 life. Or just -4/-0, just split amongst 2 creatures. So they need to have as many blockers as I have attackers here, no matter what, because they're at 1. So we can Unicorn to attack with everybody with Vigilance, or I can just Older Raven Guard to get an additional Ambergris into hand. Do I want to +2/+2 everybody, or do I want to play this Mountain? I think I want to +2/+2 everybody. It's a little bold. We haven't seen an Undersimplify from our opponent, but it probably would have been better to just play a Mountain and play around Undersimplify. But I'm getting greedy here, trying to get the +2/+2. Okay, they've just got the tap effect again. That's fine. No attack this turn then. In which case, don't really need to give the board much extra power. I just need it to be wider than theirs, so I'm just going to get my treasure here. The reason to give the board extra power is to make sure that my creatures can all trade into their blockers instead of getting blocked well. So that's why I was kind of excited about +2/+2, even though I don't need it to lethal them. Oh, now we have Dragon's Fire here. Let's get Vigilance. Let's Dragon's Fire a blocker, and then let's attack with everybody and draw new 2 cards. Alright, they're going to scoop them up. 2-0 in our first round, getting at least 1 match win in the Arena Open Day 2. Awkward hand here. Tempted to mull, but we have the portable hole if they're aggressive. And if they're not, we can wait a little while. We do have turn 3 Young Red Dragon because of Bathe in Gold. Since I have nothing else to do turn 2. I'm gonna keep it. It's got both our colors. Imoen, turn 2. Well, I guess it is portable hole time. Just get that out of my life. Clever Conjurer. Opponent is ramping up. I don't know why I would want to Dueling Rapier here, but I guess we leave the mana open to Bathe in Gold and Dueling Rapier. Draconic Mirrorless. That is a very good card. These are very not good draws. Get hit for 6. They drop a Scaled Nurturer to help cast Linnorm and stuff. That's a decent draw. I don't think we can get there though after 4 lands in a row. We're already down to 12 here. Their Mirrorless is gonna guaranteed get in, because if I block, they're just gonna get a Dreadlin Orm. Maybe I should have just Dueling Rapiered my Red Dragon for extra damage there. I don't think the +2/+0 is really gonna come into play during combat as a massive trick ever. I guess it makes Paladin big enough to kill a Linnorm. Yeah, this is pretty bad. Just put their Dreadlin Orm into their hand, blocking Mirrorless, or I lose my 4/4 to their 1/2. We'll go to 7. Hope for just Magical Christmas Land incredible draws here. Untap Basilisk, draw for turn. Steadfast Unicorn. It's not gonna do it. But I may as well get 1 extra damage in here. Alright. Dead on board, right? Block? No, we just take 3. But I have to chump now. Pretty much just dead. Should have rapiered last turn. At this point, I would rather just not cast it so my opponent doesn't know about it, because our odds of victory are practically 0. Guess I'd hit them down to 10 that turn. But then I just die in 2 swings. Oh yeah, I was not winning this with Dueling Rapier. Had I played Dueling Rapier the first time I hit with Young Red Dragon, we would have gotten 6 more damage and they'd be at 9 now. And then they take 5 more and go to 4. So it would have been better to just immediately Rapier, but I wouldn't have won the game. Would have still just lost here. There's too many lands after a pretty awkward start and a pretty good curve out from our opponent. That'll happen. 0-1 in round 2. Not ideal. Imoen, a bunch of creatures band together. They definitely have Dreadlin Orm with his Mirrorlists. I guess they could have young blue dragons. That's possible. Unfortunately, we showed our portable hole to our opponents. They could easily have artifact removal getting sided in here. Really don't like that dueling rapier there. I'm probably just going to play another ambushed on the road. It's been playing better. Feels like about it. Relatively just run it back here. Hope to get a nice aggressive start on the play here. For game 2. I can't mulligan that, but I could also just lose if I don't hit a mountain. There's no way you can mulligan Ambergris, Older Raven Guard. We just need a red source in the first 3 draws, and we win, and if we don't get it, we lose. Just gonna coin flip our Arena Open Day 2 here. That's where we're at. Alright, draw step number 2. We got there. Ambergris does not get to attack in against Null Hunter. Could play Raven Guard and just have a 3/3 on the board ready, and then next turn I have the mana to Ambergris and Portable Hole. Yeah, Raven Guard gives the double team when it attacks as well, not just when it enters the battlefield. Go for the Portable Hole. Go for the Ambergris. Attack both, get a duplicate of Ambergris to hand. Actually, these are not very good right now. I do want to get a new hand. And then put Ambergris into hand. That is a better hand. Those are nice and cheap. They're down to 14 now. We've got a very good board state going on. Draconic Muralists is the play. Don't draw a combat trick. Not ideal. Could flip Ambergris on white and then they can't kill Raven Guard. They have to kill Ambergris. And I could draw into one of my single white mana tricks by doing this as well. Probably pretty bold, but I like this here. They can't kill Duke now. Okay, did not get a white trick. We hit for 7 here. They go to 7 life. Or they go for the chump. The thing is, they know if they trade with Ambergris, they know I just have another. Oh, they're gonna take 11? Whoa. I am very worried about what that means is coming. I think it's worth it to play this land, even though it could be additional buffs with Ambergris, because they're at 3. We don't really need many additional buffs, and we could want to cast both of these next turn. Which we'll need to have played the land this turn to do that, because that's our 5th land. Then if we top deck a land, we can play both. Okay, another Muralists. Single blue mana up here. Could be like Hypnotic Pattern or something. Come to the Null Camp to shut off 2 blockers might just be it. That's the plan, because that would just kill them. Alright, 1-1 in round 2. At least we know our deck can win on the play. It would be a pretty bad Boros aggro deck if we couldn't win when we're on the play at least. Those Ambush on the Roads would have been great that game, so I still like those in there. Come to the Null Camp was obviously incredible. Got us though in the end. I don't think there's any changes I want to make to this. I think just hope to get the better draw, get the curve out against our opponent again. Oh, this event is so stressful. One match loss and you're out in this Arena Open. This opponent is definitely going to choose to be on the play here. Ooh, turn 1 Kobold Warcaller. We can do the reverse curse, flip it right back at them. Everything we play has haste. We're basically just on the play. Problem here is we need to draw more creatures. But we have 18 creatures in the deck. They're gonna Ray of Frost our Kobold Warcaller. That's pretty sad. I think I played Tollkeeper here. Check out their hand. They have a Muralist, an Imoen, and an Ettercap. They have no other lands. They kept just 2 islands. Well, we know our plan here. Our plan is for our opponent to not draw forests. That's our plan. Alright, tapped Imoen it is. Well, our opponent can survive not drawing forests if we can only draw lands. I think I have to pick up our Warcaller and replay it here. No, because this can beat Imoen in combat. Ooh, Morden's Disciples. Oh, I wish I had flipped that Warcaller. I wish I had. Alright, Morden's Disciples pass. Do they have Undersimplify? Of course, this one is running Undersimplify. God dang it. Guess I should have figured that with so many non-creature cards in hand. Just went for Ambushed on the Road that turn. And now they've got all their mana. And we've got no action because Disciples has been countered. And that's definitely not action. It is all falling apart really quickly here. Dragons fire that. Hope they don't have young blue dragons. If they have a Dreadlin Orm, that's kind of fine. Oh yeah, that's right. They can just loop Muralists because they got the dream deck of double Muralist. I forgot how disgusting it is when you have duplicates of that card. Good lord. Opponent is going to Value Town. Every one of their cards is like a 2-for-1, and all of mine are not even a 1-for-1. At this point, we gotta draw very well here. And that has not happened so far. They have enough 3-mana cards to do that? They sure do. They get to band together every turn now. Yep, they just band together every single upkeep. We just can't win. I could have played this better. Played around the Undersimplify, but this was not a winning game whatsoever. It's gonna be 1-1. It is so brutal that it's 1 loss and out. was watching Numod earlier today. Numod just lost the first round, and I was like, alright, well, that was my day 2. Single elimination is brutal. Yeah, there's nothing here that's gonna... Well, they're at 14. Well, no, I can't... They just kill everything I play. There's nothing. There's literally nothing. They just band together and kill that thing. That's it. That is it. Signature spells out of it. That being said, they didn't need signature spells there. We just lost that game to Flood in the first place. Well, I could have played one last land, but even if I drew one last land in that game, I would still lose. The biggest takeaway here is that maybe we do want the 16 land version. I did cut one of the 6 drops. Probably just cut the second squadron, run 16 lands here. But then again, we do have a lot of really important 3s. Our 4s aren't that great, though. Deck probably supposed to look more like something more like this. 16-lander here. But some pretty rough draws in that last match. The biggest thing I'm disappointed in was my performance in the draft itself rather than the gameplay. I think this deck could have and should have had another Hobgoblin Captain and a Genasi Rabble Rousers, which makes it more consistently aggressive, gives it a lower curve as well, makes it so it's much easier to punish those hands like our opponent had in that third game. I think the better build of this deck with the second captain, the Rabble Rouser here, would have been a decent bit more likely to be able to win that third game. Obviously, it's not going to win that third game if it draws a bunch of lands either, but I definitely would have been playing the 16-land version with 2 more 2-drops in this deck, because I would have put Captain and Rabble Rouser in here, cut like Red Dragon, Jaded Sellsword, and then we're easily doing 16 lands in that build. Yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. I had a good idea with getting paid off with all the red cards pack 3. I should have stuck more to it rather than dirtling around with these black rares like Intellect Devourer and Wand of Orcus. I got punished pretty hard for that. Ended up having to play some more filler, more mediocre creatures like the Sellsword and the Red Dragon to fill out the deck in that case. Other than that, when it comes to gameplay, I feel like I played pretty rough today. Like, there were some weird games, so I highly doubt I found the correct lines, but I don't think I played poorly enough that any of the wins or losses were like significantly decided by how well I played or how well my opponent played. I don't think any of these games today were really like I outplayed my opponent or my opponent outplayed me. It was a lot of just I drew the better hand or my opponent drew the better hand, just some very traditional kind of generic limited games like that. Yeah, can't be too unhappy with that. We at least won one round, which is going to get me 2,500 gems, get me back up to 20,000 gems or more. And on the plus side, this means we are done with Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate and moving on to the future and the past. We're going to Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. That is the premier draft format that will be on Arena tomorrow, and then for the next 5 days after that. Then they're bringing back Streets of New Capenna for another 5 days, and then we have cube drafts until the launch of Dominaria United at the start of September. So August is going to be a great month for drafts. Nice variety of formats, Neon Dynasty, Streets of New Capenna, and cube drafts. And then, of course, in September, the new Dominaria set. That is very exciting. The last Dominaria set was an absolute blast to draft. Hopefully it lives up to the hype there. But yeah, lots of really fun limited stuff on the horizon. So I'm very excited for all of that. But that is going to end today's video. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like this, I did do a video for every other Arena Open this year. There's a Streets of New Capenna Arena Open 2 video you can check out, or Arena Open Day 2 video, and a Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Arena Open Day 2 video, and I did get cash prizes in one of those events. So definitely check that out if you haven't seen them yet. Pretty exciting events there. Other than that, as always, you can stick around the channel, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know to send you some more of these videos if you want to see the upcoming Premier Drafts and Cube Drafts and all of that. But just thank you all for watching. I will see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.